Hey guys, Peter Bricks bringing you guys another video. Today we're talking about a Lego set that Lego has unveiled as of last week. And I had to take a couple days to think about my general thoughts on it. That's right, we're going to be talking about the fish tank. And ultimately, is this a good thing or a bad thing for Lego? And hopefully by the end of this video, you guys will be a little bit more informed and we'll decide if it's something you want to buy and support or not. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Alright guys, so jumping into the meat and potatoes of the set, we're talking about the 10366, the fish tank. It was officially rumored on July 24th in the leak Discord for $500. And at first, people thought the 4,000 pieces and the price just seemed a little weird. But later that day, we actually did get the set pictures from Lego, and we also got a handful of close-ups, and the tropical fish tank does look really good. However, it is $480, slightly less than $500. And the reason I think that is because there's currently a tax on items that are shipped into the country that are lower cost than, let's say, I think it's like 750 is the number, or 650. So obviously, if there's two or three that has a box, they can declare, upwards of $1,900, and it'll be exempt of that tax. Now, obviously, that's the business, me thinking my way through it. But the set uses a lot of molded pieces. Probably the most molded pieces that I've seen in a single set in a really long time that are not repetitive. These are all very different. You have orange, purples, light blues, purples, light greens, some transparent blue pieces, a lot of foliage. It is a beautiful fish tank. There's crabs, there's fish, there's a handful of livery in the background to simulate a blue backdrop for the fish tank. The only thing they didn't put in this was the bubbler for the fish tank, so the water is recycled. And I think everything is really beautiful, but my concern with this set is that Lego, when they were making this, saw a handful of convention sets, or they went to some brick fests or brick fairs, and they saw a handful of the designs people were putting out, and were like, "Oh, we can make these," but the ones that people were putting out there were two, three, four, $500, $2,000. I mean, I've seen people make fish out of brick separators. I've seen people use them as shrimp with googly eyes and stuff. I mean, there's tons of things that you can do to make fish and make the otherwise scene look really cool, but unfortunately, a lot of them use these really special elements. And obviously, every molded element takes more time for Lego to make. There is a more cost, um, there's more cost associated with each set. So it's one of those things where, coming off of the heels of the $1,000 Death Star, Lego goes, "Hey, here's an unbranded set for anyone who loves fish and tanks alike, for hobbyists and fans of Lego. But by the way, it's $500 and it's not a licensed theme. When the Daily Bugle is $200 cheaper, and then for 100, 150, $200 more, the Avengers Tower and a handful of the other builds we've been getting are just better deals all around. Granted, you could say that there's less pieces and more figures. There's not a lot of figures with this set at all. And there's a GWP that arguably I'm not even going to get into, but it's more of like a hostage scenario or like FOMO at this point, just like all the other GWPs we've been getting. And it just doesn't look good. How is an unlicensed IP like a fish tank you're asking 500 bones, half the price of a Death Star? You can get two of these instead of a Death Star. And I just think we've lost the plot, or we're confused, or just something isn't totally locked in. And that's kind of where the discussion ends on the fish tank. It's not really a good set that I feel like people should support. I feel like it's a set that you want to probably try to find this on sale or clearance, or use points for it if you really want it. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, you're going to spend the money the way you want. But there are so many other sets that are retiring or brand new that are much better than the fish tank. For instance, the Enterprise comes out next month. They haven't announced it yet, but it comes out next month, and it's going to have a really cool list of figures. Just today, it leaked that we're getting another Stranger Things set. The blue house from the end of last season with Vecna. I mean, there's the new modular coming out in January. I feel like the set is absolutely the key principle of Lego that is overpriced right now. And like, I could go into this about a handful of other sets that are currently out or coming out soon that are just really overpriced. I mean, the Smart Brick thing that just came out earlier this week, that the Smart Brick sets that are coming out next year for Star Wars are going to inflate the prices of sets because they're going to have a play feature similar to the Mario and Sonic sets. And I just don't know who wants this. Why are we making these sets more expensive to have them? And I don't know. I feel like Lego is really pushing the bar on what is their value. And I don't know if they're running into a similar situation how they were in 2012, 2013, where they're overpressed on stuff and they're being forced to put something out and they're trying to make up margins if tariffs really threw a curveball into that, or if this is just greed. We have the stripping back of the 18 plus box art, a lot less kid friendly themes in most cases. I know we still have Minecraft and a handful of other ones, Ninjago, but obviously, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, there was so many more themes that someone could get into that were exciting for a majority of fans, female, males, children, adults alike. Whereas a lot of these 18 plus sets are model kits. They're absolutely model kits. They're not like a play set. You're not going to play with the aquarium. It's going to sit in your room. There's so many more display sets now than there were 10 years ago. I get it. They're changing their marketing to appeal to audiences that have money. But the reason why people like me, the collectors, and the people that build mocks are into Lego is because it was so easily accessible to get the parts to build the things you want or to make the creations you enjoy. So I think Lego is getting really caught up in this adult market, and I feel like they think that their fans' pockets are a lot deeper than they really think. And I feel like that's what's going to bite them in the rear with this. The Death Star is on back order. It could be on back order because they've artificially limited the stock, or it's selling so well that it's just doing phenomenally. However, maybe they ran out of stock and were only able to produce so many of this set. And they're going to have some difficulties restocking it with tariffs and the price of pieces, or maybe that's why it's $1,000. I really am unsure of where exactly a lot of this is, and then we're never going to know. We're never going to know because they're a billion-dollar company. But at the end of the day, coming off of the heels of the Death Star, this really doesn't look good for Lego, personally, in my opinion. But ultimately, I want to know what you guys think down in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you guys can see all my future uploads. And as always, I've been Peter Bricks, and I'll see you guys in the next one.